I'm a Mohawk, and I was born on this reservation. And I was raised here, and I've done a lot of traveling in my times among the other nations in this continent, in North America. And I belong to the Longhouse, what we call the Iroquois Confederacy.
The Longhouse people are a people who are very concerned with the future generations of Indian people who are not even yet born. And it is our work, and it is our will to continue to uphold our ancient traditions, which we feel, when the Creator made all people, we feel that He gave all people a language. He gave all people a characteristic. He gave all people a religion. And we, the Longhouse people, still maintain this God-given religion. They call it Longhouse.
Well, as you understand, on this reservation, we have Catholic religion, Mormon religion, and different kind of religion. And then again, we have the Longhouse, which I personally feel that the people of the Longhouse is about the oldest and where we Mohawks actually belong. I used to think that you couldn't force anybody just to join this religion. You don't have to be joined. We are part of it. We were born as an Indian Mohawk.
Christianity came to our shore with the white man, and for some reason or another, he wanted to do away with the Indian religion and Indian way of life. And so we lost our religion and our ways and our government system. We took up the road of the white man. We became Christians, but we became very sick in mind and in body. We were very confused because we did not understand this foreign matter that came to us. So, because we were sick, we searched because something was missing. Something was missing that was very essential to make a person, a real person, to make a person proud. But we were very lucky because other reserves, a few hundred miles away, who are our cousins, still maintain their religious doings and their politics. So we went over there and studied, and soon we learned, and soon we became happy. Soon we were well again. And we hope that someday all our people will return to their God-given ways.
There has been in the past, there's been a great deal of misunderstanding between the churches, but I think there's a tendency today to see the good that each church does in its area.
So then, if, say, I was in your parish, I was Catholic,
yes,
and say, I decided I want to look into the Longhouse, for instance.
yes.
Would the church, not necessarily yourself, but the church, would the church recognize the Longhouse at all as being a religion?
Yes, I think that the church would recognize the Longhouse. The church does recognize the Longhouse as a religion.
Oh,
yes, no, it does. It does recognize the Longhouse as a religion, yes.
I was raised by an old people, and they were Catholic people. I used to be quite a church goer. I used to be serving in the altar and altar boy, I guess, for years. Finally, one day, I had a visitor from one of the chiefs at the Longhouse. He, too, was a young fella. And we became a very good friend. He never talked about the Longhouse. We've heard of it and we've seen it on the reservation here. So finally, he says to me one time, he says, we're having a doings at the Longhouse. Would you like to come down with me as a friend? He says. And so I went there with them one night. And I've listened. I didn't quite understand. I wanted to do something for my people. So I struggle along and I start to learn from different nations, Cayugas, Onondagas. As a young fellow, I wanted to see everybody. I start to learn there about our Confederacy, more and more. And I was getting very curious. I even went to the Six Nation in Brantford, and I learned more about it over there. And I put these together. You see, Longhouse is the house of worship. We transact our affairs. Confederacy of the Six Nation and their religion in their laws are combined in one. I'm always honored to have the pleasure to explain the laws of my people and the laws of the North American Indian. This, what you see here now, is what they call the condolence cane. This has been held for centuries. Long time ago, before the white man ever landed on this island, North America, my people were furious fighters. They fought against each other. But then, the Creator, as he was up there, he looked upon this nations and he felt bad that his red children were going astray. He said, I will have to make law for them. He sent a man called the Ganawita in this land, in North America. He was born as a Huron, and he spoke many languages from a faraway land. He came to the Mohawks. He says, I will legislate a great law. Then a man came from Onondaga by the name of Ayahuasca. They had combined these two great statesmen, and they had legislated a law and a constitution, which constitution for the Iroquois Confederacy. They call this the law of peace. The great tree was planted among the five nations. This here condolence cane, what we call it condolence cane, is used when they nominate the Confederate lords, the chiefs. He gave the mother the authority for clans. He said they shall have the power to nominate chiefs. They're the one that bears the child on the land. They shall be the leaders of the nation. And these shall be the representatives. They shall be the spokesmen of the people. This law was made for the people and by the people. And their law was strong. This law was a unique and great. He said, I shall nominate 3 clans of the Mohawk Nation. Turtle Clan, Wolf Clan, and the Bear Clan. Mohawks, you shall be the eastern doorkeeper. Seneca, he says, you shall sit on the western of the Longhouse, and you shall be the guard of that door. Oneidas, Onondagas, Cayugas, he called them the Five Nations. When he finished all this, he said, go out to the world, 4 corners of this world, and exercise this law and give them to all the nation. And who is willing to adopt this law shall come in. Neither they come in the western door or the eastern door. But he says, gather them, kindle their fires, and they too shall know the law.
This was before white men came. But as I said before, the white men came to our shores and slowed us down and sort of like put chains around our arms and our minds so that we could not function as the Creator had intended. But now the white man is changing, and he makes more allowances and it gives us more freedom. So now we have the opportunity to first retain all our cultural and religious values. And when we have done this, then according to our law that the peacemaker gave us, we will then send representatives to other Indian nations throughout the North American continent. There we will bring them the law of peace, brotherhood. It is said from long time ago that we would become Christians, or we would become members of other organizations that would be foreign to our shores, and that we would soon let this go, and that we would return to the way God made us, to the way God gave us. And it seems to be quite evident of that now, because last night some Indians from other Indian nations throughout Canada came to the Mohawk territory. They came here, I don't know why, but I did know that they wanted to know something. And right away, we spoke of the law of the Confederacy, the law of God, the law of the Creator. And they were very impressed and amazed that this existed in this day and age. Now this just goes to prove, at least I say it goes to prove, that the prophecies is correct, and that all Indian people, and not only Indians, but even white people, would be interested for a real peace and a real brotherhood. And there's a lot of evidences of this, because of a lot of the younger generations of the white people, they call them hippie people. Well, they are dissatisfied with the greed of their society, and they are leaning and asking to the Indian, the traditional Indian, like Longhouse people, what is the way of peace and brotherhood, the true way? And they seem to think that we traditional Indians still have the real value of brotherhood and peace, the real law.
As you understand, my beloved friends, the United Nations has adopted that law. The United States has adopted that law. Our Constitution of the country is adopted by these things. You understand that my people were not savages. They had a religion. Everything they did was always be thankful to the Creator. They wasn't proud of what they had, but they were always satisfied for what they get. These are my people from way back. This must have been done thousands of years ago, this great law. And to this day, it still exists upon these Iroquois nations. It is not dead yet. They don't want to take the country. They just want to make peace. Live in a little reservation in peace. That's not very much to ask from the red man. He doesn't want to uprise and fight. His law forbids that. His law tells him to unite the nations. He knows that he has no rights to judge one another. These are my people.